My name is Daryl Kraft. Been coming here 26 years of the 28 years the lodge has been going. If I were to summarize, I'd say the fishing, the family, and the remoteness of the area. Three things. Well, I love to fish. I love to hunt. And I've been fishing here for 26 years because I've fished at least half a dozen other fish camps prior to coming here. Every year, picking a different fish camp to go to. And I've ended up coming here because, for me, this is the best fishing hole there is. If you come here and you spend time fishing, you can catch. We almost always leave with our limit of salmon, halibut, snapper, lingcod. My word to the hardcore fisherman, because that's who I am, is to come to a place like this for several years and learn it. The reason we catch so many fish year after year is because we've learned where our lingcod holes are. We've GPSed where we can, without exception, every year we do it, go catch nice halibut. And we've learned the tide. So we come here and we will fish usually the predominant amount of the flood tide for Chinook and silvers. And then we go from there to halibut fishing. They have a guide here that will take new guests out for half a day and kind of show them the lay of the land and tell them where the best points are for catching fish and on which tide, give you a basic understanding of fishing. They'll show you how to bait your hook and enable you to catch fish. Well, I've been bringing my sons. My oldest son is 51, my next son is 46, and I've been bringing one or both of them, again, as long as I've been coming to this lodge. And I used to take one or both of them when I went to previous lodges. So I've taken my sons fishing with me every year from the time they were 14 or 15. And as my grandkids are reaching that age, I'm bringing them with me because I want them to have this experience. Just like I brought a grandkid this year, and I'll bring another one or two next year. But I come here, when I say family, I'm not just talking about my family, I'm talking about the family of this lodge. The gal that heads up all the cooking, Holly, I met her when I first came. And I knew her when she was single, and then after she got married, and then when she had 4 children, and she'd bring her little kids up here and have them on the dock, and we got acquainted with them and had fun with them because I like kids. I like my kids and my grandkids, and we would take them fishing with us from time to time. So they became extended family to us. That's how they feel. That's one of the big attractions here. I have other people that try to get me to come visit their fish camp. I have a twin brother. He goes to another fish camp and he tries to get me to come. But there's too many ties here. There's too many attractions. I love the feeling of family. When you get off the plane, I feel like I'm meeting an aunt and an uncle that I love, and some nephews and cousins and so on and so forth. That's how this place feels to me. Major improvement. I knew Clyde, the current owner of the lodge, because he owned the float plane service. And when I heard he was buying this camp about 4 years ago, I was excited. I come, number one, because I've got great fishing holes here. Can always catch fish. lots of fish. But I was excited when Clyde bought the camp because I knew he was going to upgrade the whole facility. He was going to bring in nicer boats, bigger motors that made the boats more reliable. They wouldn't be breaking down on customers. The reels would work. The fishing equipment would be great. But Clyde has really improved the quality of the overall camp. The condition of the rooms. Even the quality of the food. The food's always been great. Because Holly, as I say, has been in charge of it, and she's been here for 26 years. It's always been great. But they've I feel, even upgraded that. But I have to be honest, everybody here, and say, the more you come back and you learn this area, because when you're out fishing, if you're paying attention, you see where the fish are caught that are caught. The fishing ebbs and flows. I mean, there can be slow times on the tide where there's not a fish hit. And the tide is 6 hours. Ebbs for 6 hours, floods for 6 hours. There can be a slow time on the tide, but if you're paying attention, you'll know over a couple days, boy, those fish come in about midway on the tide. So it doesn't matter that the first half of the tide, doesn't matter you don't get a hit for 3 hours. You've learned that, and you stay through the mid-tide, and often it repeats itself. Sure enough, those fish come in on mid-time of the tide, and you're there to catch them. The boats that don't know that, they get tired after 2 hours of not getting a bite, and they leave. And in the next hour, a school of fish comes in, and everybody limits out. Now, from being here for 28 years, I've seen this time and time and time and time again. This is what's taught me where to fish and just to be patient. And in time, we feel a little cooler with fish. And so people come and they need to go out and just watch, and they'll learn. And this is why, if people are fishermen, I encourage them to come several times and come back to the same spot. If you come here and you don't catch as many fish, come here and watch and learn. I mean, that's why we can fill the cooler every day with fish, because we've learned from coming back. If a person isn't an avid fisherman, that's the other reason I come here. I said I come here, when you ask me, because of fishing, family, and adventure or primitiveness. It's just raw nature here. I mean, I love, as much as bringing my family for the fishing, I love for them to see the shorelines. They've never seen anything like this. I love them to see the big skag trees growing out on some of these points, growing right out of the rock. They've never seen anything like that. I love for them to see the wildlife. I've seen mink on the shore. I've seen wolves swimming between two islands. I've seen, of course, I've had many whale experiences. I couldn't even begin to tell you. The whales right under our boat, right 15 feet below our boat. And so when I think of bringing my family here, to me, that's worth the whole trip, for them to see what I've seen if we didn't catch a fish. I've been crossing this channel, this Hakai channel, 25 miles an hour, and all of a sudden 2 dolphins show up, both sides of my boat. I mean, they must be 500 pounds apiece. I mean, they're within 3 feet of the sides of my boat, and they're porpoising all the way 2/3 across the channel with me. I've seen 500-pound sunfish out here. You don't see them every year, but I've seen them, and come up, and I don't know if you've ever seen a sunfish. Yeah, and they lay on their side, and that great big eye looking at you. I mean, to bring my grandkids and give them the experience of just seeing what I've seen is as unique an experience as catching the fish. This is a great place.